times when you medicate fish, you win the battle. They actually recover. But the road back can take a little while. But it's good to see them come back. And let's take a look at some fish that I was able to bring back from the brink and see how they're healing up. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you recall, the damage, the tissue damage on the Venustus was very, very extensive from the Colmenares bacteria that had infested the tank, as was the tail damage on the polystigma. As you can see here, almost the entire tail is, the entire length of the tail down into the body of the fish was eaten away by the bacteria. Treatment with the proper gram-negative has worked. You can see the deep tissue damage here. And here's how he's looking today. He's gone from being listless and gasping and looking like he was pretty much ready to die to looking pretty healthy. You can see the tail on the polystigma is starting to fill in. I'm hoping it heals completely. Fingers crossed. The damage was very, very extensive, but they're both very active. They're both eating. You can see some blue in the lips, some blue in the body on the Venustus. So he's kind of getting back into stride, and very happy. If you remember, the Maduka whitelips had some deep sores on his body, some ulcers that were looking pretty devastating. And here he is today, and you can see, if you can see through the reflections which happen when I film during the day, that sore has nearly disappeared, and he's very active. He's got good color, moving around very, very well. And the tail of the Tanzania, my other Placidochromis in there, had some very bad tail damage. His tail has healed almost entirely and is coming back. If you remember the baby bucos, they had the traditional saddle that you see from the Colmenares bacteria, and that Buccochromis now has lost all of that damage. You can see him here, and he's just looking like a nice, healthy, juvenile Buccochromis. I also have a Malawi gar in here, and here he is. He was pretty much on death's doorstep. He ended up losing an eye. You can see it there. His name is now Jack Sparrow. The sand diver, which you can see here, was the first fish to be quarantined out of the 135 when the bacteria struck in that tank. You can see damage there on the dorsal, some on the anal fin, and in the body there was some marking, some indications that he was actually starting to come down with it. This is a video of him this morning, and he is active, he is eating, his fins are starting to recover. His right eye, which was fogged over entirely, has now cleared. He still has a little damage on the flesh at the bottom right of his cheek. I will wait for that to clear up and the fins to fill in a little bit more before I transfer him back to the 135. But he is one tough fish. I still have him on some antibiotic-treated food, and but he is recovering, eating, active, interacting, and getting back to being himself. The 60, which was completely unscathed by the entire incident, continues to look great. All the fish are healthy, and you can see there the flavescent. I have quite a few Placidochromises in here, some deep water Lectras, some gazelles that are showing very good markings, nice color. And those are real plants in there. Anubias, a little bit of Java fern. I feed them Sea Chem Flourish every time I do a water change. The red cap is looking very good. Loving that red cap. So there you have it. There's the update. Let me know if you brought a fish back from the brink and what's been your experience in having them heal up and recover. I'd definitely like to hear your comments. I know some folks feel that once a fish has suffered through a disease and recovered, sometimes they do suffer lingering organ damage, things of this nature, which might predispose them to future problems, or maybe shorten their lifespan, or make them weak in general. But definitely give me your opinions below. I would like to hear them. I'd certainly like to hear if you've ever had a fish become gravely ill and then brought them back, and how that experience went for you. Please share it below. I'd love to hear what occurred in your situation. I do, as I've mentioned before, learn more from you than you learn from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're appreciated.